If you're watching this, you're probably a beginner dabbling into copperplate calligraphy. The first few practices, there really isn't a need to get fancy with your tools. The big three, which include pen, ink, and paper, will be enough. I am using an oblique pen holder today, which is recommended for beginners. An oblique pen holder has this metal piece on the side called a flange, which helps angle your nib to get the angle you need and also to create a nice 55 degrees angle for every letters. We will be practicing 6 different strokes today. After you learn all these 6 basic strokes, you will notice that the alphabet can be easily assembled using these 6 strokes. All of the letters are formed by combining 2 or 3 of these strokes in a logical sequence. This set we just completed is called the full pressure stroke because the stroke is thick and equally weighted from top to bottom. This next stroke is called the pressure and release stroke. We're going to be doing 2 variations of this stroke. The one I'm doing now, the taller version, and later you will see a shorter version. The pressure and release stroke starts exactly the same way as the full pressure stroke, the first practice we did. Just before you reach the baseline, you want to reduce the pressure on your nib so that the nib closes gradually as you reach the baseline. Let's do a practice round together. Feel free to practice along or pause this video to practice. This next stroke is a variation of the last pressure and release stroke we just did. It's in the shape of an N. So what you want to do is you want to start at the baseline. Make an upstroke, then curves down to the right. Basically descends to the baseline if you're using a line paper. This next stroke is a combination of the previous two basic strokes we just did. This is a difficult stroke because you have to change the direction twice so that each time you're changing the pressure on your nib, which isn't exactly intuitive. And how I typically do this stroke is by starting at the baseline, make an upstroke curving around to the right at the waistline. As you start the downstroke, you want to press on your nib so that it opens and continues downward toward the baseline. And just before the baseline, you want to release that pressure on your nib and curve around, ending in a fine line upstroke. Out of all 6 strokes, I find this one to be the most challenging. It's definitely not as easy as it looks. So feel free to pause the video and practice till you're comfortable to move ahead. This next one here is called the O form. Okay, I know this may sound silly, but this circle stroke here is the key to the entire alphabet for Copperplate calligraphy. The shape of the form is narrow and rounded, and the way I'm making it here is in a clockwise motion, but it can also be done in the counterclockwise motion. Feel free to practice several rounds before moving ahead onto the final stroke. This one here is called the lead-in stroke, the finest hairline that your pen makes. It is used as an entrance to start many of the letters, and also used as a connecting stroke to make different words. Let's wrap this up by writing all the fundamental strokes we learned one final time.